Okay, we'll start by disconnecting the battery. It's got a millimeter. Gotta do that because we're going to be working around that passenger side airbag. The glove box has to come out. These little hangers here. These things are kind of fragile, so be careful. You basically have to separate by holding up on the box. Detach them like that. So repeat that on the other side. And down comes the box. Separating it merely a matter of pulling off the outside hinges, pulling back on the others, and the box is out. Okay, here's the blower motor electrical connector. It's blue and black wire. So this is what you want to test. Make sure verify the motor is bad by checking for power at the end, the feed end of it. And let's plug this. Let's push it in and up. Now the bottom part of the plug is actually fixed in place. Okay, now to get this spade portion out, just push in and up. Slide off of that keeper there. To test this, I'm just going to slip a couple of these connectors into the sockets on the incoming line. There we are. We've got these on the incoming line here, coming to the blower motor, black and blue. And we'll hook a meter on there now. And there we are, ready to test. Got the ignition on. Let's turn on the blower motor. Check our meter. Okay, we're getting voltage at the end. Be diagnostic of good wiring and everything else, so it would tell us that our motor's bad. Okay, we have to get this rubber grounded. Push back through. There. Plug is a real tight fit through there. There. Okay, let's go on a tour of the screws. There's one. That's one of them right there. There's one there. 8mm. Quarter drive. This one without the extension. It's a good case for just a ratchet that's turning. Actually, a thumb wheel would work good here too. Two down. This one over here closer to the door. Just a ratchet. There's always going to be one. It's a little bit harder to get at. Alright, we're at the point where we can turn it with our fingers. Maybe. Oh yeah. Okay, here's this last one here. It's near the front. Right here. and out it comes. Okay, now to get this cover out, pull it down and then forward, toward the front of the car, out it comes. So with it out, you can get kind of a better look at where the 4 screws are. This is this one that was near the front, up under here. The only one that you really have kind of trouble seeing. Alright. There's a look up in there at the motor. Okay, so there's 3 screws mounting it. You look at one. So we'll get those out and it'll just drop down out of there. Okay, so the motor is 8mm. Just using a nut driver here. Okay, so tip it kind of in, bottom in. And out it'll come. Alright, so installation. I'll tip it back. Now first of all, let's get it into the housing. As you're putting this back in, you want to make sure this higher portion kind of goes over here to the left, and then slide it up in there. It'll seat, kind of stays in there. Okay, once it's wrestled up in there, this one up here is the easiest one to get in first. This upper, higher one. And then do the other 2. Okay, a number of different ways to do this. I finally, after some jostling, managed to get this back up in here. Get it tightened down with my 8mm. This one I can kind of see through the hole for the grommet. And we're back in with all 3. Okay, let's fit the plug back through in the hole, which is exactly the same size as the plug. Squeezing the grommet back through. There we are. Plug. There it is. Before we go any further, let's test it. Get the ignition on. Okay, let's put our bottom cover back in. Remember, you've got to push it in kind of beyond. Push it a little in the back and then kind of rotate it. Okay. Looks like it's back in place. Now we'll just put the screws in. You see this back here? It kind of fits into a little groove, so when it's in there good, it'll basically have this seated feeling and kind of stay in there. Okay, that one's in. This one over here works a little bit better with a little swivel on it. Finish that one up and we're all done with the cover. Okay, so with the glove box snapped back into the hinges, let's put our handy dandy hangers back on. Be careful with these things. They're fragile. Let's place quite a system. Okay, we're all back together. Let's give the blower a final test. Thanks for watching.